All right. Are you all able to see the screen properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All
Zoom in a
right.
bit, ma'am.
So
It's not clear.
what happened?
I mean, that font is not clear, ma'am.
The font is not clear. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think I can. I think you can zoom it, right?
Ma'am,
If
now
you are
it's
signed
clear.
in through a laptop, maybe it's a problem, but otherwise, it's okay. It's clear.
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Okay. Sorry for this. I think it's because I have signed in through a phone. Shouldn't be a problem. I'll read out the sentences along with what we do, so it shouldn't be a problem. Okay. All right. So we're going to be discussing adverbs today, which means we're going to discuss all of the adverbs together, like, whatever distinctions and classifications you've seen in the lectures, beginning with manners to time, place, frequency, purpose, reason, everything. And the viewpoint, comment adverbs plus the focus adverbs, right? All of them in one go. We might have to extend by 5 to 10 minutes, but I don't think it should be a problem. Even if it is, you can catch up on the rest of it in the recording, right? We'll finish this up so that we have time to discuss clauses before you have your exam. Okay. So, okay, let's start talking about adverbs. We've already studied this in the previous semester, right? On English, in English 1. So it shouldn't be a difficult thing for you, but just quickly to brush up on that. Um, Adverbs, what do they act as? What do they do? What are the functions that adverbs, or what is the function that adverb performs in a sentence?
They give more details to adjectives, verbs, and nouns.
Not nouns, other adverbs, right? So it is a modifier just like your adjectives, and it can give additional information about another adjective, right? So ideally, either adjective, verb, or another adverb, right? This is what the adverbs do: modify an adjective or a verb or another adverb, right? And what is that adverb called? If you have a verb that modifies another adverb, then what do we call them? The degree adverbs, right? So they basically tell you to what extent, right? That's what they do when they modify another adverbs. So they're called degree adverbs, right? Otherwise, what are the classifications that you know of adverbs? You have adverbs of?
Time, place,
Manner,
frequency.
Yes, you have adverbs of time, which also
manner,
includes frequency, like always, never, seldom, ever, never, etc. You have time, frequency, then you have what? Place, right? So place is also an adverbial or adverb of place, as we refer to them as. Then you have manner, right, which tells you how, the manner in which the verb has been performed, or the other particles that the adverbs modify. Then what else? You have adverbs of purpose or reason,
Degree.
as they are called, right? Degree, yes, degree, of course. Some examples of degree adverbs: to, very, rarely, right?
Extremely.
Extremely,
Yes.
right? Slightly. All of these qualify as degree adverbs. Purpose and reason, things like although, because, for the reason that. So they can either be words, or they can also be sometimes expressions and phrases like this, right? For the reason that, or in my opinion, even all of these are classified as adverbs, right? Um, then what else? Any other classification?
ma'am, relative adverb.
Relative adverb. What are relative adverbs? We don't have relative adverbs. We definitely have relative pronouns, but they're a different category, right? Or what we call as relative clauses. Both of them are different. In adverbs, we don't have anything called relative adverbs, but we have other categories like the viewpoint adverbs or the comment adverbs, right? Those could be a new addition to your modules this time. I don't think these were discussed in the last for English one, but English 2 will definitely have a section on adverbs of viewpoint, adverbs of comment, and additionally adverbs of focus, right? And degree adverbs too, of course, in a little bit of detail. But I think mostly it should be focus, viewpoint, and comment. Okay, you know what these things are? Manner, place, time, and all, I think you should already know. Shouldn't be difficult. But viewpoint, comment, and focus must be relatively new for you. Some of you might have already known. See, when I say new, I don't mean that you have not seen those words, but you may not have known them as focus adverbs or comment adverbs or viewpoint adverbs, right? That's what I meant. Okay, so we'll discuss them as we get there, but we'll begin with the exercises now. Let's begin with the first one. It's a warm-up exercise just to check whether you understand what adverbs are, right? The first sentence, Maria had an emergency at her workplace and she left soon. Can you identify the adverbs in this sentence for me?
Soon.
Soon is one, yes. Any other adverbs?
At her workplace.
Okay, at her workplace is an adverbial expression, but we'll keep the adverbial expression sidewise for the time being. We'll only look at words, okay, which are more prominently used as adverbs. So soon, in that first line, you have soon. And what kind of adverb is this?
Of time.
Of time, okay, of time. Soon is an adverb of time, okay. Rest of you, if you're not following something, please ask me, okay. Second line, second sentence, please reach the place quickly and leave the bags there.
Quickly.
Quickly.
Quickly. Which one, sorry?
Quickly.
Quickly.
Quickly. Quickly is your adverb, and what is this adverb of?
Time.
Quickly.
A manner.
Degree?
Manner, right. It answers the question how. How should you reach? You should reach quickly, right? When cannot answer the question quickly. Sorry, the phrase quickly. Okay, now we'll discuss the next few. This is a part of a larger paragraph. This is a larger, bigger text. And I've just divided them into different lines for the convenience. But it's mostly part of one, some excerpt from some textbook. So let's look at the first sentence here. You can either read it on your own or you can read along with me. Plate armor is today remembered as one of the most popular armors in European Middle Ages, even though historical records are very clearly describing that rise of the plate armors and their extreme version, suite of armor, were the most prominent during 15th and late 16th century. It's a very long sentence. If you want to spend some time with it, you can do that. Read to yourself, and then we can discuss the adverbs in this line. Okay, can we discuss?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. What were you able to? So the first line here, plate armor is today remembered as one of the most popular armors in European Middle Ages. Okay, the first line up to in, is there anything
Yes, ma'am. Today.
that you can find
Today. Today.
today? Okay. All right.
And
Anything else?
most.
Okay. Um,
Most or one of the most.
one of the most may not be because it's most. It is not. So most is an adverb, but can you tell me why it is an adverb?
Because it is describing the degree of how popular something is.
Yes. And what is popular?
It is an adjective.
Adjective.
It's an adjective, right? So for people who are looking at it structurally, most is an adverb, right? Here, because it is modifying what? It's modifying the adjective popular, right? So you have two adverbs in that line. The first one is today, which is adverb of time.
Time.
And then you have most, which is adverb of degree, which is qualifying the adjective popular. All right. Now, the second line, is there anything that you see here? European Middle Ages, even though historical records are very clearly,
Very clearly.
right? So, both very and clearly are adverbs. Very is adverb of
Degree.
degree,
Degree.
and clearly would be
Man.
manner, right? Okay, good. Now, describing that rise of the plate armors and their extreme version.
Ma'am, what is even in the second line?
This even though, no, that is not an adverb. Even here is conjunction, even though together.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, in the third line, do we have anything describing that rise of the plate armors and their extreme version?
No, ma'am.
No, right? Now, the last line there for the first sentence were the most prominent during 15th and late 16th centuries.
Most and late.
Most
Only most.
prominent, yes, and yeah, most is yes, definitely. Late,
It will be adjective, no, ma'am. Or
I'm asking you. Yeah, see, late can be used as an adverb as well, but the question is whether it's used as an adverb here or not.
it is,
Is
I
it
believe.
used as an adverb here or is it used as an adjective here? That's the question. It can be used as both.
I believe it's an adverb here
It's
because it's qualifying 16th as an adjective.
Late 16th centuries. This is an adjective here. Okay, this is not an indicator of, in both cases, even when used as an adjective, it's indicator of time. But for this to become an adverb, it needs to qualify something else, right? But here, 16th century, what is it?
It's
For it to
noun.
become adverb, it needs to be modifying an adjective, right? Only then it can be
But
called
here
an
it is
adverb.
noun.
Here it's a noun. 16th centuries is a noun. So late is then
Yes.
what? It's an adjective here. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Now, the second sentence, today plate armor plays a very important part in the history of personal armors as the most distinct and easily recognizable type of the armor in the entire world. First line,
Very.
Today, very.
today, today, yes, definitely is an adverb. Then
Very.
Very.
very, correct. So today and very in that line. Next one, armors is the most distinct and easily recognizable type of the armor.
Most and easily.
Yes.
Most, yes, and easily. Okay. Most and easily would be your adverbs there. Third one, you don't have anything. Third line as in. Third sentence. As soon as someone sees plate armor in any of its forms, whether it is full plate suit for both soldier and horse, or just breastplate protector named cuirass, Modern people are immediately thinking about medieval times, numerous wars that happened during early Renaissance, and romanticized vision of fully armored knights and pre-gunpowder warfare. Again, a long sentence, but we look at line by line.
Yes.
So as soon as someone sees plate armor in any of its forms, whether it is full,
No adverbs here, ma'am.
okay. How about as soon as?
It's a phrase.
It's a phrase, right?
Would that be considered as an adverbial
Adverb.
phrase?
It would be considered as an adverbial phrase for sure, but this kind of expressions are usually used for comparison in adjectives. But comparison is also allowed in adverbs. Here we would not take it because it's a phrase. Okay, so we'll let it be. But remember that they have adverbial quality. They can be used, right? Any other expressions? How about weather? Sorry. How about weather? Can we use it as an adverb, weather?
Not as an adverb, I believe, ma'am.
No. So what is weather? Then it's definitely not an adverb. Then what is it? It's a conjunction. Okay.
Conjunction. Yeah.
It's a conjunction. All right. Now the next line, from the looks of it, I don't find anything, but let's see. Plate suit for both soldier and horse, or just breastplate protector named. Anything? Nothing, right?
No, ma'am.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Modern people are immediately thinking about medieval times.
Immediately.
Immediate.
Correct. Correct. Numerous wars, next line. Numerous wars that happened during early Renaissance and romanticized.
Early.
No adverbs here, ma'am.
Early, you want to recheck early? What is early here?
That would be adjective, no, ma'am.
Yes, correct. Early would be an adjective here, although early can be used as an adverb. Okay. So if you call it as an adverb, it's not wrong. Yet in this sentence, as you see, early Renaissance, here it is used as an adjective. It's qualifying the noun Renaissance, the Renaissance period, that is. Okay.
Yes.
So early, late, these are all examples of words that can be used both as adverbs and adjectives. So you need to be careful of how they're used in a sentence to figure out whether it's an adverb or an adjective, and you know what they are. So apply that concept and figure out if they're used as adjectives or adverbs. Okay. Now the last one, vision of fully armored knights and pre-gunpowder warfare.
Fully.
Fully, yes.
Right? Fully. Fourth one, the oldest plate armor ever made comes from ancient Mycenaean era Greece from around 1400 BC.
Would ever be considered an adverb here, ma'am?
Yeah, ever would be considered an adverb here. Okay, and to be precise, it's an adverb of frequency. Okay, or
And what about around?
around will not be
It's a
an adverb.
preposition.
Can you tell me whatever it is? It's a preposition, right? It's a preposition. It's not an adverb. It's not qualifying anything there. It's just connecting. So if there's a word that is connecting, then it has to be preposition. Okay.
Yes.
Or conjunction.
Or conjunction. Yes. For conjunctions, you will need sentences, right?
Yes, making sentence. Yeah.
This one is preposition. Okay. All right. Or sentences, or to be precise, clauses. You'll need clauses for conjunctions. Okay.
Yes.
So here we have only ever as the adverb, and it's an adverb of frequency. Fifth one, because of the difficult manufacture and weight, body plate armors were mostly used in a form of cuirass that was split into front and back section.
Mostly in the second line.
In the second line, mostly. Okay. That's again manner. And how about the first line?
Ma'am, would that be manner or frequency?
Mostly used in a form. No, it would be manner. How about the first line?
In this case, would because of be considered adverb, ma'am?
Because of is an adverbial, but will it be an adverb? That is, it can be used as an adverb when it appears as a phrase, but because by itself will not be considered an adverb. It would be what? Conjunction.
Conjunction,
Okay.
yes.
Ah, ah. Okay. So you only have mostly there, right? Okay. Sixth one, Greece. Introduction of this type of armor morphed into new forms of plate armors, most notably in Rome, where Lorica segmentata became popular during several centuries.
In the
First
first line,
line,
there's
Greece
no
introduction.
adverb, ma'am.
In the first line, yes, I agree there are no adverbs. Second line,
Most.
Most.
most. Okay, most is an adverb. How about notably?
It's also adverb.
It is also an adverb, right? Most
Yeah.
is an adverb of degree here. Right? Everywhere it's an adverb of degree. So that's an adverb. And then notably is also an adverb. Okay, adverb of
Manner.
manner. Yeah, adverb of manner. Right. Okay, next one. During several centuries, none. We don't have any adverbs there. Seventh one, however, after fall of Roman Empire, single-piece chest plate armors fell from popularity for a long period of time because of difficulties with manufacture and very high cost. First line,
No adverb.
carefully.
After.
Would, however, be considered adverb here, ma'am?
Yes, yes. However, would be definitely considered as an adverb here. Okay. However, is an adverb.
But it sometime it uses as
Okay, you
conjunction to them.
Conjunction, yes, ma'am.
conjunctions, yes, but see, these kind of adverbs are also called as sentence adverbs. And have you also seen this division called conjunctive adverb in your lecture if you had paid attention?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So you have these two categories also. Sentence adverbs, which means the kind of adverbs which take the whole of the sentence under its ambit, right? So whatever this adverb is about, it is applicable to the whole sentence. And conjunctive adverb is basically conjunction. So you can maybe say most of these words that you use for connections or things that talk to you about time, place in general, most of these words can be introduced. They can be considered as adverbial particles, right? So, however, you're right. It's used as conjunctions, but it also has adverbial quality. And when used as an adverb, we call them the sentence adverbs because mostly, however, is going to appear at the beginning of the word. Sentence. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Next line, from popularity for a long period of time because of difficulties with anything here.
Only long, ma'am.
Long. No, long is not an adverb.
Long is adjective.
It is an adjective.
Yeah. In
Long
that
is
case,
not an adverb.
no
Because.
adverb, ma'am.
Sorry.
In that case, no adverb, ma'am. Because would be
Yeah.
conjunction, ma'am.
Yeah, because of conjunction, definitely. Long again is an adjective, not an adverb. Okay. Manufacture and very high cost. That's the last line.
Very.
Very, right? Adverb of degree. Eighth one. Almost 1,000 years after fall of Roman Empire, plate armors returned in fashion after rise of metallurgy techniques enabled medieval blacksmiths to start easier manufacture of larger metal pieces. The first line.
Almost.
Almost.
Yes, almost. And can you tell me what would that be? Almost. What kind of adverb?
Would that be degree, ma'am?
Yes, almost would be a degree adverb, right? Not quite, meaning not quite or not, very nearly, right? So, degree adverb. Anything else there in that line?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. How about after? After?
is after an adverb, ma'am? Means usually.
That is a question. I am asking you. You tell me if it's an adverb or not. Because I told you about words that can be used both as adverbs and other parts of speech, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
usually if it's a functional word like a preposition or, article or what else? Conjunction, etc. The problem is some of those words, they can act as more than one parts of speech. So after is one such word. After
But
can
here
be
it is
used as,
preposition.
here it is preposition, correct. After can be used as a preposition, it can be used as a conjunction, can be used as an adjective, can also be used as an adverb. But here it is not an adverb. Here it is used as a preposition. Okay. All right. Now, plate armors returned in fashion after rise of, so this has another after rise of metallurgy techniques enabled medieval. How about this after? Any adverbial qualities?
No, ma'am. This is also preposition.
This is also preposition. This is also preposition, so no adverbial quality. Any other word that is an adverb? No, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Then blacksmiths to start easier manufacture of larger metal pieces. Anything?
No, ma'am.
No, no adverbs. Okay. Right. So 9th sentence now. Reintroduction of larger plated armor started with chest pieces and slowly expanded to the protection of the other body parts. First line,
Slowly, ma'am.
slowly, slowly. Okay. Now, how about the next line?
No adverb, ma'am.
No adverb, right? Expanded to the protection of other body parts? No. Now, the last sentence here. Special type of plate armor set was created specifically for jousting. Plate armors remained in use until 18th century, mostly in specific cavalry military units.
Specifically in the
line.
first line, ma'am.
Specifically in the first line, correct? Then, any in the next line, plate armors remained in use until 18th century, mostly in specific cavalry military units.
Mostly.
Mostly, right? Mostly. So in that sentence, you have specifically and you have mostly as your adverbs. Okay. Right. So these basically the 10 sentences we're trying to look at the common adverbs, right? Based on the common classification that have that's of degree, manners, place, time, purpose, etc. Now, the next one that we are going to do are comment and viewpoint adverbs. Okay, so what do you understand about these adverbs from at least the name that you hear? Comment adverbs and viewpoint adverbs.
In comment adverb, you are presenting your own opinion of something.
Correct. That's right. So how is it different from viewpoint?
You are saying something from your own perspective or some other's perspective.
Right. So see, viewpoint is mostly like the word you used is perspective, and that's right. So when you say perspective, it is not a personal thing, right? It has to be. It can have multiple, aspects to it. It can be either from your perspective, it can be from my perspective, it can be from a third person's perspective, or it can be more technical in nature, like say from the biological perspective or mathematical perspective or philosophical perspective, right? So perspectives are many, but then when you say comments, it basically means it's personal, right? It's personal or it's your opinion, like you mentioned. This is basically the difference between what we call as comment adverbs or viewpoint, or to be more precise, I think this is the difference between viewpoint and comment. And then there are adverbs that we use to specify this properly in the language, and they become comment adverbs and viewpoint adverbs. What you should also keep in mind from the point of view of the English languages, right? A lot of these adverbs, which are used as comment adverbs or viewpoint adverbs, they overlap, right? Especially the comment adverbs, right? We see that there's some overlap between the comment adverbs and the viewpoint adverbs, because remember, when we mention viewpoint adverbs, we said that it's perspectival, right? So if it is perspectival, then perspective can also be personal, right? Comment is always personal. There is no other aspect to it. But perspective can be personal and it can be otherwise as well. So which means most of the comment adverbs that you see, in some sense or the other, you can also find in the viewpoint adverbs. Not all of them, but a large number of them you can also find in the viewpoint adverbs list, right? So that is one part about the use of viewpoint and comment adverbs in the English language, right? So there's an overlap basically, where in the viewpoint adverbs, right? You see a lot of comment adverbs in the viewpoint section too. Second thing is about the placement, okay, structurally. The second part is on the structural aspect, and this relates to the placement of these adverbs in a sentence. So if you're using a viewpoint adverb, usually the position of a viewpoint adverb is always in the beginning of a sentence. So it basically works like a sentence adverb, right? Like we discussed, however, right? These are called sentence adverbs because they take the whole of the sentence under its ambit. Whatever it talks about, it's taking the whole sentence under its scope, right? So viewpoint adverbs structurally or based on the position of placement in a sentence, you'll always find them in the beginning of a sentence, right? Whereas your comment adverbs, they are placed usually before the main verbs, right? So like say I have an example like, I seriously trust his opinion, right? So where am I placing it? What is the verb in the sentence? I seriously trust his opinion.
Trust.
It would be
Trust.
trust.
Trust. Trust is your verb. So when you're using this as a comment adverb, seriously as a comment adverb, you use it right before the main verb in the sentence, right? But
Every time, ma'am.
if you're going to use every time, right? But if you're using it as a viewpoint adverb, then you will have to definitely place them in the beginning of the sentence, right? In some cases, you will also see people using viewpoint adverbs at the end of the sentence. But remember, this is a very rare usage, right? Usually, when you speak to people who use English as the predominant language in their countries, like say US or UK and a couple of other countries, New Zealand or Australia, etc., you won't find them speaking or writing sentences like this, wherein you place the viewpoint at the end of the sentence. Although in writing, sometimes you find it, but it can only be, a writing style to the best of my knowledge. But in conversations or in even formal English, you make sure that the viewpoint adverbs are always placed in the beginning of the sentence. That is the right placement of these adverbs. Okay. So say, biologically speaking, insects are not very harmful beings. Okay, so this is more like a perspectival opinion on what insects are, right? So you won't say insects are not. It's very rare to hear or see something like a sentence which would go, insects are not a very harmful organism biologically, right? That is placing the viewpoint adverb at the end of the sentence. Whenever you are using it as a viewpoint adverb, the adverb is placed in the beginning of the sentence. Okay, so these are two things. One is about the overlap, and second thing is about the placement of these sentences structurally in the sentence. Okay. All right, there's nothing more to discuss on this. They in terms of function and purpose, they very much behave like every other adverbs, but they specifically are used to express your opinions and perspectives, right? This is the only thing that you need to know about them. We'll look at a few of these questions here. I have provided a few adverbs here in that box, right? So you can choose from one of them to fill up these blanks, right? So we'll do this activity quickly so that we can do the focus adverbs as well for today's class. Okay, just give me a moment. I need to what I'm trying to do is I'll copy and paste them in your chat box so that you don't have to, I can scroll the document. Okay. Just give me a moment for, I think your screen will vanish for a moment. Please bear with me. I'll post it and get back to you. Oops, something wrong with. Okay, I think this should be okay. Since we can see the whole of the sentences, it shouldn't be a problem. We'll start. The first sentence, you can see the screen now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The first one, dash the sun rises in the east. You can go through those options in the boxes and choose the one that you think is the most appropriate.
In this case, I'm finding two,
Naturally.
ma'am. Like naturally and obviously.
Naturally and obviously. Okay, yeah, you can say naturally the sun rises in the east. That's correct. Obviously the sun rises in the east.
It's not
Obviously, obviously is more
mixing
like
that.
a,
It's more
okay, what do
opinion
you,
based. It's
Yeah.
a
it's
comment
more opinion based. Correct.
adverb.
So do you think it would fit here? Can you say obviously the sun rises in the east? No. So naturally would be the best fit here. Obviously is, it has more flavor of a comment adverb. So it's better you reserve those kind of things. Some of them, no, they're very obviously comment adverbs, right? Like for example, things like fortunately, unfortunately. So all of these things which has a flavor of very personal opinions, it's better that you reserve them only for comment adverbs rather than using them everywhere. Okay. So obviously is one such word. Now, okay, next one, the sun dash rises in the east.
Clearly.
Clearly. Now here you can say, obviously rises in the east. Okay, because this is more like a comment that you're making. So even the intended meaning of your sentence matters. Okay, what you choose to place there also depends on how do you want your sentence to sound like. If you want to, use it as a general comment, then obviously you can, in place of naturally, you can use obviously here, right?
Yes.
Got the point? Huh. So clearly or obviously, okay, a lot of things can go here. Then comes third one. You dash go through the book.
Simply or obviously?
You simply go
You,
through.
you okay. You simply go through the book, or you
Wisely.
Obviously go through the book.
you obviously go through the book. No, or maybe it is possible. Simply
Cleverly.
is fine.
Ma'am, wisely.
Cleverly.
Wisely.
Sorry. What is that? The last one that you said, I did not understood.
Wisely. You were saying
Oh,
wisely.
wisely. No. We don't hear Sasti. A lot of things in the language is also about acceptability, right? You don't hear
Yeah.
such constructions that often. You don't say you wisely go through the book or cleverly go through the book. You can say you simply go through the book. Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds like the best option here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now next one. I had dash conveyed the secret message.
Cleverly.
Cleverly.
Cleverly. Okay.
Ma'am, in this case, could we?
Confidentially, yes. Cleverly, I would give it a pass. But maybe, if you're looking for more appropriate use, then confidentially or
Yes, ma'am.
clearly, even that is also okay. Okay, clearly conveyed the secret message or confidentially conveyed the secret message, all good. Okay.
Ma'am, in this
Also,
case,
if you're
other than
saying,
the options in the box, could we use quietly?
Yes. So besides what you have in the box, I'm sure there are plenty of options. Quietly conveyed the secret message. Yes, correct. I can say that as well.
Even secretly.
Secretly conveyed the secret message. Actually, if you're using confidentially, you don't even have to mention secret. Right? You can
Yeah.
simply
Because
say,
it is
I
also.
had confidentially conveyed the message. That is enough. Okay. But I think they just wanted to give you a clue on what goes there. Sometimes people overdo to help. That's the problem. Fifth one, dash, I will be there for the party.
Obviously.
You can say, obviously, I'll be there for the party. Anything else?
Could we do fortunately?
Fortunately, okay,
It's
let's
more
say,
like
all right. Okay. So you're using it as a, here it is mostly an opinion sort of thing, but okay, let's say fortunately also goes. But I think, what was the other answer you gave me?
obviously.
Ma'am, can we
Obviously.
use luckily?
Obviously. Sorry?
Luckily.
Luckily. Luckily also. If fortunately goes, then luckily also goes. What's the big deal?
But in future
Obviously.
sense, we generally don't talk about the fate. No. Means
In
luckily
future
and
tense, what?
fortune.
No, here this
In-
is not. I will, fortunately, I will be there for the party. Why not? What stops you from using luckily or fortunately?
Means generally I don't heard this like sentences. That's why.
No, that
Fortunately,
shouldn't be
I
a
will.
problem. If the situation demands, you can say, for example, you are not expecting, you thought you won't be there, but then you think it's your luck that you will be there for the party, right? So, okay. Not an issue.
Yes.
Sixth one dash, he was again behaving weird. Don't tell me obviously now, because obviously I think is something that will go with everything. Besides,
Yeah.
obviously, if there's anything you take.
Unbelievably.
Unbelievably. Do we have it? Okay. Unbelievably, he was again behaving weird. Yes. Okay. Good. That can go. You can say clearly also. Clearly, he was again behaving weird. Okay. So those two we can take, or maybe there are more, but okay. At least if you can get a few that would go with it, it should be fine. Seventh dash, the man looked troubled.
Clearly.
Clearly, the man looked troubled. Anything else? No, I think this should be all right. Okay. Now, next is dash. Sorry, he was dash walking on the road.
Naturally.
Would bravely be appropriate here?
Bravely. We don't have any context, and without that, I think there's nothing brave about walking on the road. We all walk on the road all the time.
It could be the pandemic.
It could be the pandemic. We don't have it. No context.
Yeah, it's dependent. Like if we have context, we can use it.
I mean, it wouldn't be wrong. Of course, none of it is structurally wrong, but without any more context, I think we will stick with whatever we have otherwise. But it's a weird sentence, to be honest. I don't know what would fit there aptly, but let's see. Whatever is appropriate.
Simply.
He was simply walking on the road, Simply would be okay. He was simply walking on the road. Yes, that would go. Rest of the words, I don't think anyone would look good there. Simply is okay. Now,
Yes.
ninth one, dash, he got up and started moving lazily.
In this case,
Stupidly.
Stupidly, he got up and started moving. No. This one also, I think you can use simply. Fortunately, he got up and started moving lazily. No. You can use simply. More neutral ones, right? So something that is obviously negative, I don't know what is fortunate about that. So use simply. He got up and started moving lazily, or you can say unbelievably. He got up and started moving lazily.
ma'am, in this case, one doubt I have, could we use in a daze or something like that?
What is it?
In a daze.
In a daze. What would that mean?
Like he was dazed when he got up.
Achha, in a daze. Yes, that you can. But then I don't think if that would qualify as the adverbs of viewpoint or comment. Okay. That would be more like an adverbial expression. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Right. 10th one, he dash dozed off while driving. This is easy.
He stupidly dozed off.
He stupidly dozed off while driving, or you can also say he
Clearly.
Can be used wrongly.
wrongly dozed off while driving. Okay. Then
Unbelievably.
unbelievably, yes. And you can also say unfortunately, right?
Yeah, unfortunate.
Unfortunately dozed off while driving. Okay. Because these are things that you can you can anticipate what has happened after that, right? So in that case, it's okay. 11th one, dash, he got himself out of the situation. It's also easy.
Fortunately.
Fortunately.
Fortunately or luckily, okay?
Yeah.
Anything.
Also.
Dash, he started singing.
Ma'am, in
12th
the
one.
previous one, we can also use wisely.
Wisely, Wisely also right. Wisely, he got himself out of the situation. Yes, correct. Next one, 12th one, dash, she started singing.
Generously.
Generously, no. Why?
In this case, would beautifully qualify, ma'am.
Beautifully. Beautifully, she started singing. Yes, you can. You can, but we don't have it here. Beautifully is right, you can use. I think based on what you have here, you can use maybe unbelievably here, nothing else. Unbelievably, she started singing. Okay. Next one, she started singing.
Yeah. There it was viewpoint, here it was comment.
Correct.
Same thing, ma'am. Unbelievably
Same
only
thing.
works.
Same thing. Only unbelievably will work there as well. Okay. So 14th one, 14th one, dash, the event didn't go as well as expected.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, the event didn't go as well as expected. Okay. 15th, dash, he stayed there despite the warning.
Bravely.
Stupidly.
Stupidly, or you can say wrongly, or you can again say unfortunately, right? All of those would be okay there. 16th, I will dash help you.
Obviously.
I will obviously help you. Obviously should be the better option here. I will obviously help you. 17th, he reacted dash by agreeing to their demands.
Wisely.
Unbelievably.
He reacted unbelievably by agreeing to their demands, wisely by agreeing to their demands, wrongly by agreeing to their demands, cleverly by agreeing to their demands. Many options available. Rightly also. Okay.
Yes.
So many options available. So one thing is, if in situations like this, if you can use, if the adverb you're using is something that has positive quality, then it means that even the negative counterpart of it would also fit. Of course, based on what follows after that. Like for something like this, agreeing to their demands, we don't know, right? So they haven't mentioned anything about the right or wrong. In such cases, both goes, both the negative and the positive adverb will fit, like we used here, right? We could either say rightly or we could say wrongly also. All would fit.
Yes.
18th. Mohit dash estimated the expenses.
Wrongly.
Wisely.
Yes. Wrongly.
Wisely.
Also rightly. Which means you can also use wisely. Yes. All good. Some species of turtle are dash endangered.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, correct. Then you have the last one, 20th one. Dash, I advise you to visit your parents.
Generously.
Generously.
Yes.
That may not fit.
Out of the
Again-
options, simply seems like the best option. ma'am.
Simply should be a good fit. Simply, I advise you to visit your parents. Okay. Or obviously would go. Obviously is something that will go with anything. And Clearly also would be okay here. So clearly, obviously, simply is okay.
In this case,
We did
would
not use
honestly work, ma'am.
honestly also definitely. I mean, that should be a better option, of course.
Yeah.
Or frankly, any of those would be okay. We did not use generously, but I think
Yes.
one place where generously can be used is the 16th one. We used I will dash help you. I think we use clearly or something, but you can use generously in that place also. Okay, so I will generously help you. I don't think generously can be used anywhere else. Or even the 18th one, Mohit generously estimated the expenses, meaning that, he's been quite, he overestimated. That could be the meaning. Okay. Yeah. All right. So there's another one here. This is very similar to what we have used here. It's an easier one since it has options and they are more obvious answers than the one that we discussed in these questions. You can look at them on your own. There are about 10 of them here again. So you can look at it. Okay, so one more thing before we move on to adverbs of focus. Do you see something else in the sentences? Particularly with regards to the placement and
Yes.
the
Mostly
way
they are
the
in
sentence
beginning.
they are in the beginning. And what do you see when they're put in the beginning? Do you see something? After that, we are also using a comma, right? So they are separated from the rest of the sentence using a comma. What kind of adverbs? Viewpoint adverbs, right? All viewpoint adverbs, because they appear in the beginning of the sentence, they're also separated using a comma from the rest of the sentence. Okay. So in writing, conventionally, you also do this. After you write the adverb, you're also going to mark it off from the rest of the sentence using a comma. Your comment adverbs can also be written like that. That is the one that you find before main verbs, right? Sometimes people use a comma before and after the comment adverb, but it's a rare practice. Only if it demands, for example, a word like however, when it is joining two sentences, sometimes what happens, you put a comma before however and you put a comma after however, right? So that is also one writing convention, but most of the times we don't do that. We just simply place it before the main verb. Okay. So that's a little bit on the writing convention part. Now we'll move on to the last section here, which is the adverbs of focus. Okay. Now, adverbs of focus, what are they used for? As the name suggests, what do you do? What do you think would be now? See, what you see here are only 4 of them, but there are many more adverbs of focus in English language, right? And they have their own functions. They're classified based on the functions they perform. We'll talk about it. But just to begin with, what would be the purpose of a focus adverb?
We are focusing on some.
To highlight
They
some
focus.
quality about
Correct,
something.
correct. They focus, like the word suggests, and you mentioned, they help you focus on certain segment of the sentence, highlight a certain segment of the sentence, right? Emphasize or draw the reader's attention or the listener's attention to a certain part of the sentence, right? Now, what is the quality of when you were learning about adverbs, you might have heard one part on its theory that adverbs are fluid in nature. What does that mean? Adverbs are fluid in nature. Structurally, they are fluid. What does that mean? You can place them anywhere in the sentence. You will find adverbs in the beginning of the sentence. You can find them at the end of the sentence. You can find them somewhere in the middle of the sentence, right? So structurally, they're very fluid. Fluid means this, right? It has no fixed position anywhere, right? Depending on the function that they're performing, depending on what purpose they're used for, they can shift their positions in a sentence. And particularly because of this quality, focus adverbs help you a lot to draw emphasis on. This is how they help you draw emphasis or draw attention to a particular part of the sentence. You can keep shifting these adverbs from one part of the sentence to the next based on where you want to bring that focus. Okay. So since adverbs are in general fluid in nature and so are focus adverbs, you can move them from one place to another in a sentence to change the meaning or to precisely to bring the attention to that particular part. Okay. So that's what adverbs of focus are. Now, based on their functions, you can classify them into a few categories. Like, for example, you have adverbs of focus that help you show surprise, right? There are adverbs of focus that show you, that help you show limitation, right? That something, when you want to show something is limiting something else, right? In such cases, you can use adverbs of focus. You want to show surprise about something, again, you can use adverbs of focus. In limitation, you can show full limitation. You can also show partial limitation, right? So something is partially limited or something is fully limited, right? All of these are different classifications for adverbs of focus. We're not going into the details of it, but I'm just giving you a sort of understanding on what are the purposes that you can check under the category of focus. Okay, so these are a few of them. And most of the adverbs that you use in the classification, right, they are the same. For example, you can use even to show that something is being limited. You can use the adverb even to also show that there's an element of surprise or shock, right? So we go through the sentences, you will understand some of them, right? So say, for example, I have a sentence like, my pen can even light up the room, right? So in this case, am I using even as a limiting factor or am I using it as an element of surprise or shock to show element of surprise? Surprise, right? My pen can even light up the room, which means this is not ideally the function of a pen, but then it can also do this, right? Now, along with surprise, am I also talking about an additional function that my phone can show? Right? My phone can even light up the room. Do you get that understanding from the sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes.
So this is another classification for focus of adverbs, additive meaning, right? When you want to talk about something in the additional sense, in addition to something else, right? Even in that case, you can use adverbs of focus. You add the focus adverb right before the word or the part that you want to highlight as an additive factor, which functions as the additive factor. And then you will be able to show that something is being done in addition to what already existed, right? So partial limitation, full limitation, addition or additiveness, plus surprise or shock. These are the different functions for which you can use the focus adverbs, right? Then even, right? We were discussing about even. So even usually has two functions, either to show surprise or shock or to show that something is being done in addition to the other, right? Also, how about also?
It would be additive, ma'am.
It would be additive. Anything else? Same thing. It can also show you some surprise element. My phone can also light up the room. Okay. But mostly also would be used for additive functions. Okay. Rarely it can also can be used for the surprise and shock. Okay. How about just? Just
It's limitation.
Limitation, right? Any examples? It can just, my pen can just write. Now, is this limiting or anything else?
Limiting only, ma'am.
It's limiting, right?
Yes.
All right. How about only? Only?
Limiting.
It's also
Limiting, right? Only is always limiting. It doesn't have any other function. Only has to be always a limiting thing. Okay, so these also just only even are the most commonly used focus adverbs, but you have many more than that. Okay, for example, either or, neither nor, all of them can function as focus adverbs, but the more commonly used ones would be also, just, only, and even. Okay. And I think for your purpose also, I think this is the one included. There would be one more, which is alone, right? And alone is usually used at the end of the sentence. And it's more of a kind of focus adverb which is used in Indian English. You wouldn't find them in other varieties of English, but Indian English will have a lot of use of this focus adverb that is alone. And whenever it is used, you usually place them at the end of the sentence. Okay. Okay, let's look at these sentences quickly and see how, these things work in general. And I think particularly the last 5 sentences, it shows you how you can just use one focus adverb, shift its position in a sentence and acquire different meanings, okay, based on where it is pulling the focus to. Okay, first sentence, mobile phones can browse the internet. They can dash play music.
Also,
They can also play music. So additive function, right? Can we use anything else here? Instead of
even you can
also?
also.
We can use even
Yes.
also, right? So to show surprise or to show shock or something, you can use even as well. They can even play music. So surprise. Okay. So also and even both can be used. My mobile phone cannot make long distance call. It can dash make local calls.
Only.
Just.
So you can say only, you can also say just, right? It can just make local calls or it can only make local calls. Okay. Right. Third one, my mobile phone can navigate to an address. It can dash show me where the traffic is.
Also or even.
It can even show me where the traffic is. It can also show me where the traffic is. So both also and even, right? So also
Yes.
and even, which means it can be used in most of the cases, they can be used interchangeably, depending on what emotion or what situation you want to express, right? Okay. Fifth one, right? Dash a cell phone can do this work. Oh, sorry. Fourth one we did not, right?
Yes, ma'am. We haven't
My
done yet.
mobile, right? My mobile phone cannot browse the internet. It cannot dash save phone numbers.
Even.
Even.
It cannot even save phone numbers. Okay. So here you cannot have also. Here you have to only use even, because even is more of a limiting focus adverb than anything else. Also is definitely additive. It does not have a limiting function. So here, because the context is limiting, you'll have to use even. It cannot even save phone numbers. Okay. Fifth one, dash a cell phone can do this work.
Only or just.
Only a cell phone can do this work. Just a cell phone can do this work. Even a cell phone can do this work. All the 3 fits, right? Also, you can use, but you will have to separate it out with a comma in case you're using it. Okay. Also, a cell phone can do this work. It's more like a advice or something given, right? In that case, remember, also is not a focus adverb, right? Only if you use just, only, and even in this blank, they become focus adverbs. If you use also, then also is not going to be used as a focus adverb here, because it is not performing any function that the focus adverb performs in that case. Okay. Did you get that point or any confusion?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Now, these sentences, 6th to 10th, most of them are going to have, or all of them, I think, will have only one answer. But what we are going to do is we'll see how the meanings change when you shift the position of the word in the sentence, right? So, dash my phone can make calls to family in this area.
Only.
Only my phone can make calls to family in this area. Where is the focus in this sentence?
Only my phone.
My phone.
Only my phone. The focus is my phone, right? Only my
Yes.
phone. No other phones can make calls in this area. That's the meaning. Now, 7th one, my phone can dash make calls to family in this
Ma'am,
area.
in the 6th one, would it be even?
Even my phone can make calls to family in this area. Yes, you can use that. Not a problem.
But only was more focused.
Only is more focused, and we use only so that we understand how the meaning shifts. Okay. Just for that
Yes.
purpose. But even is not wrong. You can use even as well. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
This one, my phone can dash make calls to family in this area. Again, the blank would be filled with
Only.
Only or even.
only. Only or even. So my phone can only make calls to family in this area. You've moved only to the next segment before make calls. So the focus is on
Make calls.
making calls, right? So only make calls. So no other functions allowed, only making calls. Okay. Eighth one, my phone can make dash calls to family in this area.
Only calls.
Only calls to family in this area. Similar thing. That's because we're using a serial verb. Okay. We could have omitted the make there, but both of the sentence carry almost a similar meaning. Okay. My phone can
Yeah.
make only calls to family in this area. Ninth one, my phone can make calls dash to family in this area. So your blank is again going to be
Only.
only, right? Limiting one, but the focus is now on
To family.
to family, right? So only families, no one else. Make calls only to family in this area. Last one, my phone can make calls to family dash in this area.
Only in this area.
Only.
Only or
Now the
even.
only or even. And now the focus is on
Area.
area, right?
This
So
area.
only in this area or even in this area, right? Even and only will be used with different meanings, yet whatever they are used at, the meaning or the focus is restricted to area in this sentence, right? Okay, so this is the thing. You shift the focus adverbs in the sentence from one place to the other, and the meaning of the sentence would drastically change, right? Which is why they're also called focus adverbs. Wherever you want to bring the focus to, whatever meaning you want to bring the focus to, you can shift the focus adverbs accordingly to before that particular segment in order to draw attention to that. Okay, which is why the name focus adverbs. Okay. Any questions here? All good?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we'll stop for today. I think we've already crossed the time by 10 minutes, but then I have already asked for this in the beginning. We'll do the clauses for next class. We'll start discussing and solve a few of the questions for them. We did figures of speech in the last class. In case you guys have missed out on that particular section, then you should go back and listen to the recorded lecture. The practice questions for them, along with the answers for figures of speech, are already uploaded for your reference under the supplementary tab section. So please go through that as well. In case you have doubts, please write to us, okay, in the forum. All right.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So thank you so much for joining in, and we'll meet again next week. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. See you all.